So this screen will open it up. Okay, and you go further down, and now you see again on the top there are these steps which already we have seen many times, but each time they are changing as per the experiment. So first is the theory tab, second is the procedure, third tab is the self evaluation, fourth is the simulator, fifth is the assignment, sixth is the reference, and the last is the feedback. Okay, so let me go through the one by one. Theory part, let me clear it this also. Okay, so theory part, you see, so always you have to look to the aim of the experiment. Okay, whichever practical you perform, you always go for the aim. So here you see the aim. There are two aims you need to perform or find out. First, to calculate the velocity of ultrasonic sound through different liquid media. So there are different liquid mediums are there, and you need to find out the velocity of that in that medium. Second is to calculate the adiabatic compressibility of the given liquid. That means how much a liquid can compress, that also you need to find out with this. Okay, so these are the aims you have to keep in mind. Second is the operators. What are the things we required to perform this experiment? So they have written over here. It's very simple. A complete setup of ultrasonic interferometer. You required liquids, and this high frequency generator also you required, because with the help of that you are generating the signals which are more than 20 kilohertz. Okay, so that generator is required, high frequency generator we are saying. Theory, as I said, theory part is also important to read so that you can understand the practical in more detail, like what is happening, what is the working principle, everything. So this part generally I am leaving to you people only, so you can go through the theory part. But remember, when you write down into the journal or into the notebook or in anywhere, don't need to write theory part. Okay, so this theory which it is given over here, this you can skip it. Diagrams, if it is suitable, if you find simplicity, I mean if you find that the diagram is easy to draw, then you can make it. Okay, but otherwise it seems so difficult, then you may leave it, or you may just find out the screenshot and then attach into the Word file or into the notebook, whichever you like. Okay, all such details they have provided into the theory part. So now I'm not going into the theory, as I said, so you can go through and explore it more. Okay, I'm moving it down. Okay, these are the methods they have given how to generate the ultrasound, ultrasonic waves. Let me tell you that all such details also we are going to cover in your regular lectures. Okay, so your class faculty, respective faculty of physics, can give you the more idea in the lecture time about this, but this is the general thing you must be knowing, or you just go through that. Okay, then they have given the ultrasonic interferometer, and this is the setup on the right hand side. If you can see, yeah, this setup, let me annotate also. So this setup will be there. Okay, so ultrasonic interferometer, and now you can identify all such components of that. Clear? So you see this on the top, this part is represented as micrometer. Fine, and then again let me check it out. Second part is the reflector, which you see, let me annotate also. This one is a micrometer which is rotating. Okay, so people are saying rotating micrometer. Second, you see this micrometer is connected with a rod over here, use something like this. Okay, and you see I will go down further and up to this moment. So this is your reflector, which is of metal. Okay, another thing is, if you see liquid like symbol, so that is your experimental liquid which you are keep filling in this part, which you can see just after the rod reflector. Okay, and third, again you see the constant temperature water bath. So this is not required at this moment because we are not utilizing this in real lab, so you may skip this also, but there is facility to keep the temperature, to keep the constant temperature throughout the liquid. So but we are not performing with this, so you can skip it out, this one. And at the last, you see at the bottom side somewhere here below the liquid, we are keeping the quartz crystal. Why quartz? Because quartz crystal are sensitive to this range of frequency, high range of frequency when you supply, and because of that only you are going to generate the ultrasonic waves. So that's why we are keeping the quartz crystal at the bottom, and this quartz crystal is connected with a RF input which is shown here. Okay, RF in the sense radio frequency. In radio frequency means more than 20 kilohertz frequency we are considering as a radio frequency input. Okay, so that input is giving to this one, and this input is connected with the quartz crystal. Now what will happen? The moment you supply this much high frequency to the quartz crystal, okay, the crystal will vibrate. Okay, and because of that your ultrasonic waves are going to be generated. So once generated, what will happen? They will float, they will move through this liquid which is there in this setup, you can see. Okay, and let's say they are generating from the bottom where the crystal is there, then they are moving through the liquid and striking to the reflector which is connected to the other end of liquid, as you can see in the diagram at this part, right? So they will move through the liquid, they will strike to, I mean, whatever the waves are generated, they will strike to the reflector which is of metal. Now what is the role of metal reflector? To reflect the signal, right? Reflector, from the name itself it is clear that it is used for reflecting the signal. So the waves which are generating from the bottom, they are striking, they are moving upward, they are striking to the reflector. And what is the role of reflector? To reflect the signal. So it will reflect the signal again down the liquid. Okay, so this process is going on so many times. Clear? So this makes the standing wave pattern, because there are two fixed end, and from that end this particular signal is getting back and forth. So basically this creates the standing wave pattern inside this. And if we are saying standing wave pattern, that means it must satisfy a criteria of 2d equal to n lambda. What is d? D is the distance between the two fixed path. Okay, here is the bottom and the top of that, and n is the integer, lambda is the wavelength. So 2d equal to n lambda has to be satisfied if it is following the standing wave pattern, right? So you just keep in mind this formula, 2d equal to n lambda. I hope you people have gone through it earlier also. So this is the requirement to generate the waves inside this stationary wave or whatever you say. So that will be there using these standing waves. Okay, so this is how I told you the principle, how it works. Okay, and what you can do is you always change this micrometer to control the movement of reflector. Okay, so if you change the micrometer, the reflector will move up and down. So accordingly you see the changes. Okay, so all such changes, I mean the changes whatever is going to happen by rotating the micrometer, you need to record it down in observation tables. That's what your experiment is, right? So I hope now it is clear to you people what you need to do in this case. Okay, let me move it further. So this is how theory, this is how they have given, as I said, 2d equal to n lambda. So this formula is the simple one, same thing, this one. And normally, see, number of value of n depends on like fundamental mode or overtone something. So generally we are getting n equal to 1, considering n equal to 1. So if you consider n equal to 1 and put into the formula, that comes out to be d equal to lambda by 2. Okay, that means the distance is nothing but the wavelength divided by 2. So you note it down. Okay, this formula we are going to use. The another thing is, as the task said, we need to find out the velocity, and velocity is given by this formula. I hope you people are aware with this also. Okay, v equal to lambda into f, you can find out with that, and then that lambda value you can place it out, lambda equal to like how much, 2d. So you place it 2df, and so that you can find out the velocity. So have you seen only one thing we need to find out, that is the d value. Frequency is always given, you can always set it. So the only remaining parameter will be d. What is d? D is the thickness, d is the distance. Okay, wo jo place hai, I mean d is the distance of micrometer which you are going to rotate. So that micrometer distance you have to note it down in the readings, and if you place it in the formula, you will get the value of velocity in this. Fine. Another parameter is there, let me go to that also. Okay, here it is, this one. This is the second parameter, second object or second aim which we need to find out, that is compressibility of the liquid. So you people are, let me explain it in a very simple term. So you people are aware that whenever something is passing through the liquid will spread away. Okay, just like you compare a pond or a jheel or talab, whatever you consider. Okay, and if you drop a stone, now what will happen? That stone will go down and the water will remove out from that place and going towards other side. That's what you have seen many times. The same thing will happen if you are saying that your ultrasonic waves are moving through the liquid. That means liquid is compressing somehow, then only it is possible to movement. Are you getting that? If you claim that ultrasonic waves are passing but liquid is not compressing, then it is not at all possible. It is like you are throwing a stone into the water, but stone is, I mean, it is not going down, it is on the surface only. So that is another case. But if it is going down, that means that much amount of liquid is getting compressed, provided the volume is fixed. So here in this setup, the volume of liquid is fixed. Okay, and then you are inserting something. That means it has to compress, then only it can allow the path, it can allow the waves to proceed further. So in general, if you look at this, compression is very small. Okay, so you cannot see it with naked eye, but what you can do is you can check it out with the instrument which are sensitive to this amount of changes. Okay, so that's what the compressibility is happening over here. And how to calculate it, we are using this formula, 1 upon rho v square. Rho is the density of medium or the material, v is the velocity of ultrasonic waves in that medium. So if you use this formula, you will be able to calculate the compressibility. Okay, again I am repeating, this value is so small that you cannot find out with the naked eye, but you can sense it, you can check it out with the help of the instrument like this. So that's what we are doing. So I hope this is also clear. If you are claiming that something is moving through a system, that means the medium is getting disturbed. Okay, medium has to compress, then only it is going forward. So this is how theory part I explained it to you in proper detail. Now go to the procedure. Okay, so all such procedures they have given for real lab. Okay, for simulator also. So I will leave it to you people, you can go through that. Okay, the only important thing which I want to highlight over here is this line. This line you see, that the gain and adjustment knob which are there on the setup, you have to arrange or place such a manner that ADJ value, that means adjustment value, is greater than gain value. So this only you have to keep in mind while performing the experiment. Okay, rest all also you can go through the procedure so that it will be easy to perform the practicals. Fine, you do go through it. I am not going it further because I know that. And then you note it down these values. Okay, micrometer readings you have to note, anode current, this is the table they have given. And least count also you need to find out. Least count in the sense the single count which you can measure properly. Okay, so you have to find out the least count value also. I am leaving it to you. If you are not able to find out, then do let me know, I will explain it to you also. Then you have to write down the frequency which you are going to select. Okay, the value of n we are taking as 1, so no need to worry, n always you have to take 1. The value of d you have to note it down from this readings part, and then this velocity, that formula v equal to f lambda you apply, and you can get the answer for this velocity. Okay, so this is nothing but and simple. And at the last you need to write the answers or result. And if you remember, I told you many times that whatever the result or the answer you provide, always write with the proper unit. So velocity, you know that it is meter per second, that's what they have written in the SI format. Same way this compressibility also they have given in meter square per Newton. Okay, so you can go through of this result part, readings part, as well as this unit part. And now come to the third tab, that is the self evaluation. So if you have gone through with the theory and procedure in proper depth, then you must be able to write the answer, as I have discussed this also. Okay, all such things we have discussed over here. So now it is very simple to get the correct answer from the MCQs. Okay, so you can go through it, submit it the answer, and then you can come to the simulator. Okay, then again you see this kind of things you may see on the screen. So you have to click on the button run, you allow it, okay, and then it will open the display. But still, if you don't want to see such kind of scenario in your system, then what you can do is you can prefer Internet Explorer, because someone has said to me that if you go to the Internet Explorer, then this kind of problem will not occur over there. So it's very simple then. Okay. But even though if you are following Chrome or Mozilla Firefox browser using, then you need to enable that. You need to run that Flash player. Fine. So this is how the setup looks like. Clear? Now, as per the suggestions or steps they have given in the procedure, you need to follow that. You need to make it this power on. So I'm just giving you a little demo. This power on you have to click, and here is the medium you see. So there are 5 particular liquid mediums are given. So you decide whichever you want. So what you can do is out of the class of let's 35, whatever you may have, few people may work on this water, few people may work on some different acetone, kerosene, castor oil, whatever. You decide it and take readings on that. Okay, so for simplicity, I'm taking as water over here. Then you see the frequency of wave. Okay, it's a preferable always that you keep the lower frequency. Okay, if you are going for higher frequency, then that wave pattern is going to be different, but you can take it no doubt. But for simplicity, I am keeping it again at a very simple level, that is 1 megahertz. Okay, but if you want, you can always move it further. There is a slider. Okay, but here I am keeping it 1 megahertz. Fine. Then what you have to do is there is a button on this. Let me annotate it. Yeah, this is part. Okay, and this is your emitter. On the screen you can see. Okay, and this emitter reading will be in the microampere range. Okay, so the current which you are seeing on this emitter part, it is in microampere. So you note it down carefully from the scale, and this is the setup. This one is the entire setup. Okay, the whole thing, I mean, yeah, up to this part. So this is your setup basically, ultrasonic interferometer, and now you see all such details. So now you see all such details are there over here. I am leaving it, I am skipping it all. Okay, now come to the practical. So as I said, these are the buttons. So if you click on that, this scale will rotate. Okay, and they have magnified the content so that you can easily see how much amount it has got changed. So you just click on, this is the positive movement. You see your scale is moving. I hope you are able to see on the screen. If you move it, then your scale is moving further, right? If you this side also, then scale is rotating in the other side. Okay, so with these 2 buttons, you need to keep on playing with that. But before that, if you remember, somewhere in the procedure, I have given you the idea that this gain and adjustment value, which these 2 tabs which you see over here, you need to set it. Okay, so then how to set? If you remember, they have told you that adjustment value always has to be greater than gain. So first let's set the gain. Let me set it. You click on this button. You see on the screen. Let's say you keep on 40 for simplicity, right? Now coming to the adjustment part, it has to be more than 40. Whatever the gain you set, it has to be more than that. Okay, so this message is also coming out. See on the side, ADJ reading should be greater than the gain. So you keep on moving. Okay, and whichever the readings you want, you can keep it. Let me keep it around this 70 around I'm keeping. Okay, or for a simplicity, let's say I'm keeping around 60. So it's very clear now, 40, 60. So don't need to worry about that. So what does it mean is this particular scale, when you rotate this micrometer, okay, let me move it. So when you rotate this micrometer through this button, this particular current scale will be moving between 40 and 60. Okay, if you want to change the range, you can change it, but once you decided the range, don't change this value in ongoing experiment. Okay, keep in mind, once you decided the value of gain and adjustment values, don't change in the running experiment. Fine. If you want to change it, you change it in the first step itself. So rather than 40 and 60, you can keep 20 and 60, you can keep 20 and 50, whichever you like, but gain value has to be less than adjustment value. That's what you need to do.
Sir,
Clear?
can you note down one observation?
Yeah, let me check it out. I have set it out. Okay, now you see that I'm moving to this scale. Okay, what will happen is the moment I move at a particular value of interval, this scale will move out. Current scale will move. Let's see. Now it is at 40. See, I am pressing it down. Now you see it has started increasing, right? And see, it will go maximum to the 60, and after that it will return once again. If I still move it further, then you see. Can you see on the screen? Yeah, at a
Yes,
particular
sir.
value, it will strike to the 60, and then again if you move it further, the micrometer count, it will return back. So that's how this scale will be moving between 40 and 60 only. So whenever it goes to 60, you consider as maxima. Okay, whenever it goes to the 40, you consider as a minima. Clear? Because in standing waves, there are node antinodes. You people are aware with that. So whenever the amplitude is maximum, we are saying as antinode. Whenever the amplitude is minimum, we are saying as node. So instead of node antinode, now people are calling it as a maxima and minima. So maxima is 60, which you have decided, minima is 40. So what you have to do is either you have to take the readings of all maxima or all minima. So you decide. Okay, so either you go to the maxima part or you can go to the minima part. So I'm always preferring for the maxima. So whenever pressing this button, whenever it reaches to the 60, that particular value of micrometer reading, I have to note it down from this scale. You see, you move it further, further. Okay, it will take time. You see scale is rotating on the top. Okay, you keep on changing the value of micrometer. I am pressing it continuously. Okay, scale is moving on upside, as you can see on that. Now you see again it is started increasing. Current scale you can see. Okay, now it has increased. But again, if you increase the value of micrometer, this will return. Current value will return again. So this particular value again you consider as maxima because it has touched to the 60 count. Okay, so at this maxima, what will be the reading of this micro scale? So can you see into this proper, this one? This is the micrometer reading. You have to note it down. So you see how many count it has moved from 0. So 1, 2, and third count also has passed. Okay, so first you need to check out how much is the one count, I mean least count of this experiment. So that part I am leaving to you. You find out the least count. Okay, so basically there are two scales on this micrometer. One is this main scale, which you can see at the center, 0 something and go on, and on the top of that this is the rotating scale, which has the counts from 0 to 50. Okay, so once you rotate the complete cycle, all 50 counts, if you rotate, then main scale reading will be changing with one count. Okay, now what is the least count of one count? That all you can find it out. Okay, take the product, find out, and least count you have to find. So basically there are two scales. One is the main scale, which is there at the center, uska least count nikalna hai. Second, there is a rotating scale which has 0 to 50 counts. For that also you need to find out the least count. Okay, and at the end of the reading, okay, you have to take the sum of these two readings to get the correct answer of readings, micrometer reading. So main scale reading plus this rotating scale reading, you have to take the sum of these two, and that will be your one particular reading, and that will be the value of D basically. Okay, the value of D, which you people are interested in finding out for this experiment, because the velocity formula is 2df. So D value you have to find out from this one. Okay, So this is how you note it down. Then again you move it further. This current scale, you see it is getting down. Okay. Then again you move it further. After 40, again it will return to the 60. The moment it returns to 60 again, at this moment again the micrometer reading, you have to note it down. So all such things you can note it down further over here. Fine. D from graph, or you can manually write it down. If it is not there, then you can manually write down into the notebook somewhere. Okay. And what you can do is, let me erase it. Okay. You click on the button. Now you see that at a certain interval, these spikes will come out. You go on doing this experiment at least for 10 readings. I have given you the idea for only 2 readings. That's why I get 2 spikes, but you have to perform it at least for 10 readings. So you go on and you see this graph will be like this, similar pattern. Okay. And similarly, if you want to see this, what is there inside this part, inside this, this is setup. So you click on this button. So inside this, you can see that water is there. Okay. Then you see reflector is there. So all such stuffs they are putting over here in this. So you just go out and check it further. And at the last, if you have provided all such data over here, written over here, you calculate this result. Okay. But here also, since I have taken the readings, so by default it has calculated every parameter, and that's how you see the answer. This velocity comes out to be 1480 meter per second. Okay, which is of course more than the speed of sound. Okay, and then you see the compressibility also, 10 raised to minus 10 is the factor. So now you can imagine this is very small quantity which we cannot see it with naked eye, but changes are happening, and the changes is in the order of 10 raised to minus 10 meter square per Newton. Yes, clear. So I hope this experiment is clear to you. You just play on with that. All such details you will get it. And then you go to the assignment part. Okay. So all such assignment stuff they have given. So as per your understanding, you go through that and try to find out the answer for them. Go to the next step, that is reference. So bibliography they have given, I mean from where they have taken the sources or content, and the last bibliography is also given. So directly you can click on that button and check out more about this experiment, though I have explained it to you everything, but still some more details you may get if you visit these links. At the last feedback, if you want, you can provide it, or else you can skip this also, but these first 6 steps are equally important for you people.